Good evening. I am early this evening. I have decided to come onto the live early because I've not been very well today. Hence, I've got my cozy on. I invested in one of these big, fleecy, long things that's really warm with a nice warm hoodie. And I've had a busy day today. I was speaking at an event this morning. I've done a couple of lives. I've had a busy day, but about 2 o'clock, I really crashed and burned. I've had a cold now. I don't know whether anybody else is suffering. I know that Heather has been suffering with this. I've had a cold now for about 2.5 weeks and it just isn't shifting. They say it's a variant of COVID, but I'm testing negative for COVID. I'm going to apologize for Jet. Jet's also poorly. That's my Labrador. He's going to go around the room coughing all the time that I'm on my live, but I tried to kick him out and he wouldn't go out. He wants to be in with me. So he's poorly, I'm poorly. We're looking after each other and we're live tonight. So yeah, apologies for being a bit early, but I thought it was better to come on early than to not come on at all. So while I've got a bit of energy at this time, I'm doing the live and then I can go back to the couch afterwards in my cozy. Anyway, hi, for those of you that are here, welcome. I am continuing into the mind of a creative tonight. For those of you that don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson. I am the creative genius consultant. I'm an artist, I'm an author, can't speak, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. I struggle to speak. I'm just going to stop and have a drink of water because, yeah, it's been a bit of a chesty, horrible thing, this cold. Anyway, what I want to talk to you tonight about, last week, both of my lives last week, I focused on Into the Mind of a Creative. And I talked about this document here, where I have been working on this piece of work for quite some time. And I have created 35 things that I have seen going on and I have experienced with the women that I work with and with myself that go on with us creatives. We are different, very different from the linear thinkers in society. And it's only by embracing this and working with those differences, stepping into the power, that you actually can make a huge difference in your life and your business. It's always about accepting your differences and stepping into your power that makes change in your life. So why not be really specific about the things that us creatives struggle with? So tonight I want to talk about the 5 Ps because I know that you will struggle with planning. Okay. And the 5 Ps are: persistently poor planning prevents progress, rather. We used to call it something slightly different and a bit more rude in retail. Persistently poor planning prevents progress. Persistently poor planning prevents progress. I get it right in the end. It's like a tongue twister. So I know that as a creative, you're going to have difficulty staying on task. You are bored easily. You get bored very easily, and you get bored very easily because when you've got to do something mundane and linear, shiny object syndrome starts happening in your brain, and your brain automatically goes to something else you could be doing. So what's the other exciting thing I could be doing other than this dull thing that I am doing now? It's an automatic reaction in the creative brain. I find it all the time. As soon as I sit down and I know I've got to do something that's going to take a couple of hours, I'm instantly procrastinating or thinking I could be doing this, or I could be doing that, or I could be painting, I could be writing, I could be doing this. It's a natural reaction. So for that reason, I have to manage myself really, really well. And a lot of the women that start with me on my creative mastermind program, I hear this a lot. But I don't use diaries. I like to be spontaneous. I can't use planning tools. My own daughter has said to me, I cannot use a diary. I cannot use planning tools. Now, she's ADHD, and I talked about ADHD last Tuesday night and how there's a connection with creativity. I believe there's a correction. You can quote me on that, but that's not come from any medical sources. But I genuinely think there's a connection. And my daughter always struggled with planning tools and how to organize herself and her time. And she would always leave things to the last minute. I do it a little bit myself, but because of my history of being a store manager and a divisional executive, I had to be good at time management, and I had to be good at planning. But for those, actually, Becca, my daughter, for those of us that are not really good at those tasks, we can be really difficult to live with. We can be really annoying to other people because we never do anything when we say we're going to do it. We always put things off to the last minute, and then we're running around like idiots shouting at everybody because we've not got something done. Yeah. And it can be really frustrating, not only to ourselves, because we are our own worst critics, but to those around us as well. And we can seem disorganized. And actually, to a certain extent, we are, as creatives, we like a little bit of that disorganization. And some of you might be shaking your head saying, no, that's not me, I'm dead organized. And if you're one of them people, thumbs up to you, you've got past those traditional traits, or those traits that I see a lot in the women that I work with. You kind of battle resistance, and point 12 on my list is that you battle resistance every single day. You have two lives: the life you live and the life you are capable of living. And in the middle is your resistance to it. Yeah, if that makes sense. You are capable of great things as a creative. You've got all this talent, all this genius inside of you. And the resistance is to putting in these mundane things that help you to get there more predictably, quicker, more efficiently. There's always that battle going on inside you. You're like the yin and yang, dark and light. You resist change, and yet you help to facilitate it as a creative. You resist investing in yourself, yet to do so would create greatness. That's number 12 on my list of the things in the mind of a creative. So I always share this a few times a year. I share how I plan. Now, how I plan does not have to be how you plan. Everybody plans differently. Some people do their planning on online calendars, and I hate them. I can't do everything on my phone. I hate it. I like this. I like my paper diary that is tactile, that I can write in, that I can connect with. And if I'm going to be forced to plan as a creative against my will, then I'm going to do it in the way that I feel comfortable with, the way that I want to do it. So I plan using a system called Rocks, Pebbles, Sand. So when I'm planning my diary, I look at all the areas of my life first that need to be planned in a working week. So I look at my personal life. So what needs to happen in my personal life, my personal admin tasks, my weekly shop, my self-care, my well-being, my health and well-being. Those are the things that I put into my diary first. Those are rocks, believe it or not. Those are the immovable things. Rocks are immovable. Next, what business things are really important to my business that are going to generate income? Hi, Andrea, just seen your comment. That are going to generate income now, in the near future, or in the long-term future. What business things need to be in there as rocks? They go in my diary. All right, so I look at all these different areas of my life. So health, wealth, love, well-being, yep, all of those different areas of my life. And the rocks go in my diary first, the things that I will not move. There we go. I always show you my diary to prove that I do it. There we go. Rocks are red, pebbles are amber, and sand is green. Okay, rocks will not change. One of the rocks in my diary is my live on a Tuesday night. I will not change it. I have adapted the time tonight, but I will not change it. It's a rock. It's important for my business because it's me communicating with my audience, aka my potential clients now, in the near future, or in the distant future. So there are things that go in there that will not be moved. There are things that are pebbles that I could move by a day, a couple of days, or even a week. They're important, but not essential to what I'm doing in my life. And then there's the sand. The sand are the nice to-dos, the nice things to do that I want to do, but I could move them if something more important came up to another week, Good descriptions for sea glass. Yeah. I could move them to another week or even another month. They're nice to do. So, it might be the top 100 things I still want to do before I pop my clogs. They could be the green things that I've put into my diary that it wouldn't be a major problem if I moved them from April till May. So I use that system because and I color code it red, amber, and green because it makes sense to me as a creative. It gives me the connection between the pen and the paper, which is important. When you physically write things down, you're 80% more likely to do them. Okay, so when you connect paper and pen and you write something, you're more likely to do it. Okay, that's the first thing. It's color coded. So as a creative, I can see at a glance how important the things are in my day and how many of them there are, which is less likely to put me off. And I don't overload my diary. So I'll show it you again. That is not an overloaded diary. Bear in mind, I work 3 days a week in my coaching business, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Then the other days, they're free, but they're not because at the minute I'm working on the art bank. So I plan over the 7 days and I include planning at the weekend for any social activities or important things. Now, if I didn't do that, I would sit down at my desk in the morning to start work and I wouldn't know where to start. I'm just going to be really honest with you. It would be like me looking through the window blankly. I wouldn't know what to do first. And then I'd choose something to do that I wanted to do instead of something that was important to my business or myself. So that's why I plan to manage myself. I don't plan to show you my diary and go, look at me. I plan to manage myself so that I get the tasks done that make the biggest difference in my world, in my business, obviously, because I want to make money and I want to be able to feed my dogs and my kids and pay the bills, because we all do. But also personally, I want to make sure that I've planned enough time for me to do the things that I need to do to feed my soul, to look after myself. It's important. If I didn't put the weekly shop in my diary, I'd forget to do it. Honestly, I'd forget to know that it was that day and go and do it, and we'd have no food in the house. That's just how it would be. So sometimes as creatives, we are at our absolute best when we leave things to the last minute. So sometimes we use procrastination as a tool to get things done. But when we use that, when we do that, and we use procrastination to get things done, other things are neglected. And unfortunately, some of the other things that are neglected may be the rocks that are in our diary or that should be in our diary. Because let me tell you what rocks are to me. Rocks are income producing activities. Income producing activities. They're the things that are going to help me in my business. So if you're a procrastinator by nature and you leave things to the last minute, it could be causing your business to suffer in a big way, because in the act of procrastination and leaving things to the last minute, big things could be getting missed that would make a big difference to your business. And this is why, this is one of the first things when you join my creative mastermind, one of the first trainings is on planning and productivity. Okay, so one of the very first trainings in my mastermind program is on planning and productivity. And I talk about this very thing, rocks, pebbles, sand. Okay. 6 months in, I do the very same training again, because everybody slips into old habits by 6 months in. So I whack them with exactly the same training again and say, have you remembered planning and productivity? Because the better you plan, the more productive you are going to be in your business. Okay, so when I can sit at the end of the day and see that I've achieved all of these tasks, and if you look at Monday there, it's ticked off. Everything's ticked off. So I tick it off as I do it. It makes reviewing really easy for me as well. So when you plan, you can then do your plan, do, review, which is another great habit to embrace as a creative. Do you know, it's not the big things. It's not the big things that will make you lots of money, ladies. Anybody that's watching this, it's not the big things. It's these small things that you do consistently that will make the biggest. This is what successful people do. The small things that they do consistently. So if you're planning and you're reviewing daily by ticking off your tasks and then spending 15 minutes at the end of the day going, I've got everything done. How do I feel about that? How good does it feel to achieve those things that are in my plan today? It gives you that opportunity to do the plan, do, and review, because reviewing is as important as anything else you do. And all of these points are in my list of the 35 things that go on in the mind of a creative. Remember, if you want this document, just let me know. So in here, I've said, you struggle to complete projects. This also links in with planning. The joy of the initial creation is more exciting for you than the monotony of completion. Okay, you're easily bored and you prefer the start to the finish. Okay, that's why planning is important. Every Friday, every single Friday, I have a 2-hour slot in my diary where I plan the next week's diary. It's one of the tasks that I do every week. It's a small task. In fact, it doesn't even take me 2 hours now. I give it 2 hours because I like to review everything I've done and look at the income that I've produced from the activities that I've done and quantify it and, do a proper business review at the end of the week. So I allow 2 hours for that, to review the week and to plan the following week so that I know exactly what's happening from week to week. And even when I was really busy launching my bricks and mortar business while still running my online business, I still continued with these basic habits of planning and productivity, because they make the biggest difference to your business. Remember, persistently poor planning prevents progress. And what you want in your business is progress over perfection. So you want your business to be moving forward every day. If you take £5 one week and you take £10 the next, that's progress. It doesn't have to be 50,000 and 100,000, does it? Progress. But you're not going to get there unless you really put the energy and the time into sitting down and planning your diary. I have this conversation every time new cohorts start my mastermind program, right? It can go back and forth, and I will never forget the back and forth with Lucy Sheffield. If you're watching Lucy Sheffield, of I don't use a diary, Mandy. I don't like planning, Mandy, and I don't want to plan, Mandy. And now she understands the benefits of this, and she even has spreadsheets. Lucy Sheffield, go and call her out on it. She even has spreadsheets, because you cannot run a business. You cannot run a business without a plan. And if there's nothing in your diary, whether it's online or hard copy like this, you haven't got a plan. I'm sorry, but you haven't. My plan, my 12-month plan, my quarterly plan, my monthly plan is transferred into my diary. So everything stays on plan all the time. Next Monday, I start my 5-day challenge. That's all been planned for months. It was planned from the last 5-day challenge. It's done quarterly. We have a system. We have a set of processes. My team and I know exactly what I'm doing every single day in the lead up to the 5-day challenge. I know exactly what I've got to do during the 5-day challenge. Nothing changes because we have a plan. We have a system. So my challenge to you tonight is, what is your plan? Do you have a process? Do you have a system? What do you use? And how do you plan? Are you using a system of priority in your business? Rocks, pebbles, sand, traffic lights, whatever you want to use. I'm not saying you have to use anything that I do. I just show up and give you examples so you can pick what works for you, because that's important. Loads of the gurus out there say you need to do it my way. No, you need to do it your way. I show you my way, but you find your way. But if you don't do it, you're not going to succeed. And that's the big message I wanted to get through to you tonight. If you do nothing, you'll get nowhere. Yeah. If you want progress, you've got to be good at organizing yourself, acknowledging these things that go on in the mind of a creative, taking the power back, taking control of them, and finding a system that works for you, for you, not Mary next door, not Mandy on the screen. Yeah, no, not Lucy Sheffield or Joe Blogs, for you. What works for you? Right. But I won't accept nothing works for you. Okay. I'm going to shake my head and say, no, I won't accept that. You've got to do something. Anyway, I would love to, if you're not already signed up for my 5-day challenge, it starts on Monday. The link's in the comments, either above or to the side. I would love to have you in there. It's fantastic fun. You would learn loads wherever you are in your business now. Even if you're not a creative, you will learn loads because I give loads of value away. It's a fantastic 5-day challenge and I love doing it. Let me know where you've watched from tonight. Let me know if this has helped you even just a little bit to start thinking about your planning. And I will see you Thursday morning at 10 o'clock for my final delve for this week into the mind of a creative. Have a fantastic week. I hope the sun is shining. It's raining here. I will see you all same time, same place next Tuesday night. Bye.